Okay, welcome everyone. My name is Brooke Bennett. I'm an admission officer here at Cal Poly San Luis Obispo, and we are so excited to have you all here virtually with us today. I just have a few housekeeping things to bring to your attention. First is all of our attendees are muted with your cameras off. The presentation is being recorded, and we do have the transcription on the bottom as well. If you have questions for us, please use the Q&A option in your Zoom, and we will make sure to answer the questions that you have, whether it be through chat or live. So we are in the College of Science and Mathematics today, and I am excited to introduce Dean Wendt, and he will take it away.
Great. Thank you very much, Brooke. And thank you all for being here this evening. I'm really excited to be talking with you. I hope that you and your loved ones are well and safe. My name's Dean Wendt. I'm the Dean of the College of Science and Mathematics, and I use the pronouns he, him, his. And I'd like to start by acknowledging the land on which Cal Poly sits carries the heritage and culture of the indigenous people of San Luis Obispo County, the Yaqui Choo-Choo Yaak-Tilhini Northern Chumash tribe. We honor the indigenous people's connection to these territories and respect the land on which Cal Poly is located. During our hour together today, I'm going to give you a quick introduction, and then you'll hear briefly from each of our departments. After that, you'll have about a half an hour or so to ask us questions in the question and answer section, and we will both answer those in written form, and then we will answer others as well verbally. I really enjoy these opportunities to speak to prospective Cal Poly students because I was a prospective Cal Poly student once, and I know you're wondering right now which university will be the best place for you. I think the best reason to choose to do anything is that it will change your life for the good. And that is what Cal Poly did for me 30 years ago. I was a first-generation college student. I was a transfer student, and the faculty and staff took an interest in my professional and intellectual development and helped me see that actually I was a scientist, which I didn't know before I came to Cal Poly as a student. My close relationships with faculty and staff and the learn by doing activities like student research helped me get into Harvard University for graduate school and eventually end up as the dean of this college, which I simply could not have imagined before coming to Cal Poly. And I'm telling you, it may not be the same trajectory, but this is what Cal Poly can do for you and the College of Science and Math can do for you. I want to tell you about a few of our graduates. And if these sound like the kinds of things that you want to do, then Cal Poly and the College of Science and Math are the place for you. First, I'd like to tell you about Crystal Castillo, and she's shown here in this next slide. Crystal came to Cal Poly to study biology as an undergraduate. It ended up getting a master's degree here. And she said once, I always wanted to do something that was unexpected of me. But as a young Hispanic girl, science wasn't pitched to me. As an undergraduate, she met one of our professors, Dr. Gita Kularu, who saw Crystal as a talented young scientist with a hunger to learn and encouraged Crystal to continue her studies in graduate school. Well, Crystal went on to get one of the most prestigious fellowships in our country, a graduate research fellowship from the National Science Foundation. And this close relationship with faculty members is one of the hallmarks of Cal Poly. And if you choose to come here, this story could be yours. Let me tell you about another Cal Poly student. This is Tim Geislinger. Early in his career, Tim was a scientist, an academic scientist, and he engineered antibodies which formed the foundation for the first targeted cancer therapeutics. He also identified a series of compounds from plant extracts that are used today to treat symptoms associated with HIV and AIDS. And more recently, though, he moved into the food industry, and he's created and he led the research team that created the Beyond Burger at Beyond Meat. This is the first animal-free meat product to be sold at the meat counter that cooks and tastes like meat. And it's not just Cal Poly. I love these. And it's not just the fact that it's one of our alums. They really are terrific. Now, Tim, he always said, I try to use my expertise to do good for the world. And then what Cal Poly taught me was the power of doing. It showed me that if I could do, I could change the world. Tim said that at the beginning of a project, if it's complex, he doesn't really know exactly how he's going to get the result, but he does know how to chart a course in uncharted territory. And that's because of Cal Poly's Learn by Doing curriculum, which taught him how to approach problems and develop innovative solutions. And this could be your story. Finally, I want to tell you about Bill Frost. Now, Bill graduated, and this is his wife, Linda. Bill graduated from Cal Poly in the early 1970s, and he built a very successful career in business. And in 2017, he and Linda made the largest donation ever received to the entire California State University system, $110 million. And he said, I wanted to give back to the institution that gave me so much. He focused his entire gift on undergraduate research in the College of Science and Mathematics, in which students work directly with faculty. And Bill attributed this kind of experience to his success in business. He feels that undergraduate research is one of the most powerful forms of learn by doing. Now, one really exciting result, and there are many, of the gift from Bill and Linda is the new William and Linda Frost Center for Research and Innovation. And that will open in fall of 2022. And it will house university classrooms and labs for 3 separate colleges. Our college, the College of Science and Mathematics, is getting 30,000 square feet of dedicated research space for undergraduates in our college. And if you come on campus, you'll see that that building looks basically like it does in that depiction there, which has really just been so enjoyable to watch over the last couple of years. So finally, I'd like to show you some numbers. As you can see, if you want a place where you'll work closely with professors who are dedicated to your success, where you'll be engaged in hands-on and active learning through lab courses and undergraduate research, and where the college invests in your opportunities to discover new scientific knowledge through real-world research, then Cal Poly is the place for you. And I truly hope you will apply here, you will get in here, and you will join our community. So that's the introduction. And now what I'd like to do is introduce the departments and programs within the College of Science and Mathematics, which you can see listed here on the screen. And this will give you an opportunity to hear from a few of our faculty and students. And following their presentations, we'll also be hearing from one of our associate deans, Dr. Camille O'Brien, and she will share opportunities for students to build community in the college. And then, like I said, we'll have time for your questions. So thank you so much for your attention now. First, I'd like to introduce Dr. Ken Hillers. He is the chair of the Biological Sciences Department.
We'll try that again with mute off. Hi, everybody. Thanks for coming. Like Dean said, I'm the chair of the Biological Sciences Department, and I'm very proud to be that. The Biological Sciences Department, I think, provides students with an excellent opportunity. We have within the Biological Sciences Department 3 different majors for students to choose from. So there's the Biological Sciences degree, which is the most general. We have a microbiology degree, which is unusual amongst the CSUs. Not very many schools offer a micro degree anymore. And then we also have a relatively new marine sciences degree, which involves, as you can see, people being out on boats. With this diversity of degrees, we really provide students with a lot of different opportunities to enhance their education and really figure out what it is that they love about biology and what it is that they want to do in the future. As you can see, within the Biological Sciences degree, we have a few different concentrations. There's anatomy and physiology, which would be where most of the students interested in the health professions would wind up. We have molecular and cellular biology, which is most relevant to people who want to work in biotechnology. And then we have ecology, evolution, biodiversity, and conservation. And this is more for people that want to do work out in the field, whether it's in research or work in an agency. We're also associated with a number of minors that are mostly targeted towards students who are not one of our majors. We, as a department, we have a number of facilities on the next slide that you can see, and taken together, what they really do is allow us to provide students with great learn by doing opportunities. So our goal with undergraduate students is to get them involved in research, to get them practical experience, so that when they go on to whatever it is they're going to do after they leave Cal Poly, they are very well prepared to do so. So we have research lab space for people that want to go into biotech. We have, although it's not listed here, we have cadavers in-house that we use for teaching for anatomy and physiology. We have a pier, which is excellent for the marine program. And then we have lots of open space around San Luis Obispo. And so people that want to do ecology type or conservation type research have lots of opportunities for that. And so taken together, I feel like Cal Poly really provides undergraduates interested in the biological sciences with an excellent and diverse opportunity to have many experiences that will benefit them going forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Ken. Next, I'd like to introduce Dr. Seth Bush, who is the chair of our chemistry and biochemistry department.
Hi, everybody. First, thank you for taking time out of your evening to join us today. I'm really excited to share a little bit about our program. And I'm just going to kind of start with the high point. Undergraduates are the focus of our program. You might hear me say this a couple of times, but undergraduates really are the focus. We have about 350 majors. We have a Bachelor of Science in Biochemistry, which is sort of the edge between the molecular and the biological. We have an American Chemical Society accredited chemistry degree, which just guarantees to is rigorous and has lots of hands-on elements. We have a 4+1 BS MS in polymers and coatings, which is a very directed kind of degree that is tied very specifically to a niche within science, within the polymers and coatings field. And students from that program leave with these things called JOBs. I've heard of them. I've tried to avoid them myself, but there they have them. But really, undergraduates are our focus. If we look at our faculty, we have about 50 faculty within our department, and each and every one of us came to Cal Poly because that is the kind of place we wanted to be in. So what is the result of that focus? If I can get you to jump to the next slide, what does this mean in practice? And there's a lot of words here, so you're gonna have to apologize. I promise I won't read them all to you. But so what does it mean in practice in our classes? Okay, well, for the most part, our classes are small. Think general chemistry taught to groups of 48 to 64, which is sort of kind of a novelty in this day and age. They're innovative. Our classes are innovative. I want you to think about a lecture lab space in which the wall between lecture and lab has been removed, where there's literally learn by doing. It's not just what we put on the walls. It's not just the t-shirts we wear. It's the way we live. It's hands-on. So what do I mean by that? I mean, our lab-rich curriculum, even just in our classes, our lab-rich curriculum mean from the day you walk in to the day you graduate within our program, you're going to have hands-on opportunities to break really cool, I mean, don't break it, just kidding on that part, but to get your hands on really cool equipment that is industrial norms, that is what you need if you're going to go get a job in our field. It's what you're going to need if you want to go into further your education. And it's the real life experience that gets you out and ready to be productive in our field, gets you thinking like a scientist. So that's kind of what it means in terms of classes. What does it mean in terms of research? Dean had kind of alluded to this, but at this stage, roughly 90% of students within our program who would like to get engaged in research have the opportunity to do that, whether this is through the summer, during the academic year. Students within our program can get engaged, get involved in authentic, real research that translates into hands-on thinking with world-class folks, world-class collaborators, world-class equipment. It's opportunities for summer internships, it's opportunities for academic year advancement, and even sometimes getting paid to do what you're doing. That's nice too. It developed those soft people skills that employers need, because it turns out when you're in a research lab and you're troubleshooting, you rely on a team, you rely on conversation, you rely on those discussions, because that's how science works. So as you leave with this kind of experience, you're leaving not only having built your resume, but you're also having built your tool belt with things that employers need tomorrow, that your future success needs tomorrow. And sort of finally, what does this mean in terms of community? The 50 faculty who've joined this department, who chose Cal Poly because of its undergraduate focus, we chose this because we wanted to be part of a community that would support folks just like you. We recognize that having a supportive community in which lots of folks have access, everybody, if we can, has access to resources, increases people's probability of success and increases people's happiness. Heaven forbid we're happy too, that would be nice. So what are we thinking on this? We're thinking about active student-driven experiences throughout the year with our clubs and our community groups. We've got active advising that's going to help you navigate your classes, but also help you navigate different opportunities that come up along the time while you're here. We're thinking a 4-year seminar series that's going to help you turn the academic into the professional. Why? Because all of these things are going to help us build a community where you're supported, you can thrive, you can grow. Because at the end of the day, in case I didn't say this yet, undergraduates are focused, and that's why we're here, and that's why we're hoping you'll be here.
Thank you very much, Seth. I next want to introduce Dr. Chris Jankovich, who is the chair of our Kinesiology and Public Health Department.
Great, thank you. And thank you to all of you who are joining us this evening. And I want to thank Dr. Hillers and Dr. Bush for covering so many really important things that I don't have to repeat, because so much of what they said applies to the Department of Kinesiology and Public Health. Like Dean Wendt, I'm also a graduate of Cal Poly, and one of the reasons why I'm here is because faculty members and mentors that I had made me believe that it was possible for me to do things I never expected that I could do. So I take pride in the fact that I get to come back to the place that inspired me to be more than I ever thought I could be. So some of the pictures that you see here are lots of different pieces of equipment, but some of them are for measuring energy expenditure. And if you're a kinesiology major, you will become very proficient in using all of those devices. Our mission is to provide students with a broad range of possibilities for careers, and that includes careers for people with a bachelor's degree, as well as to prepare students who want to go on to graduate programs or in the allied health professions, go into nursing, be a physician's assistant, a physical therapist, or become a physician. We offer 2 undergraduate degrees in our program, BS in Kinesiology, and that program consists of courses in the major, but also courses in the sciences like biology, chemistry, math, physics, and statistics. We have the BS in Public Health, which is the newest Bachelor of Science degree program on the Cal Poly campus. We're going to be graduating our first cohort this spring, 22. The program consists of courses in the major and courses in anthropology, biology, microbiology, nutrition, psychology, and statistics. If you have an interest in preventing disease, promoting health and well-being, improving the health of your community, a degree in public health or a degree in kinesiology are pathways to all of that. We also know that you're considering applying to many other outstanding universities, and we hope that you will value the things that make Cal Poly special. None of the University of California's, none of the UCs offer a degree in kinesiology. So if you know you want to study kinesiology, we hope you'll choose Cal Poly. Only one of the UCs offers an undergraduate degree in public health, and you can't declare that degree until your 2nd year, and you might not get in. So if you know you want to study public health, we really hope you'll consider Cal Poly. If you could go to the next slide. We have a lot of really amazing faculty and they strive for excellence in the classroom. We also take pride in our small class sizes that are taught by professors, and we take a lot of pride and a lot of care in our lab-based curriculum and our undergraduate research program. The Department of Kinesiology and Public Health also houses the Center for Health Research, and that is an obesity and disease prevention research center. Our faculty currently hold in excess of $20 million in funding from the National Institutes of Health, the Department of Justice, the American Diabetes Association, Weight Watchers, with many other funding proposals pending. All of those research projects have students actively engaged in the process. Some of them are working as part of their senior project requirements, but many others are working as paid research assistants, and they're able to get involved relatively early in their academic career. What you're seeing here, you're seeing that one RV, a converted RV, and what that is a mobile health clinic. And faculty in our department, but also students, work on the mobile health unit, providing medical services for people in underserved communities. We also have an iCycle program, and that is a program where we use tandem bicycles and work with those with visual impairments to be able to be physically active and through cycling. We have an adaptive paddling program that is a program that allows for those with paraplegia or quadriplegia to engage in water sports with adapted kayaks that operate utilizing a breathing tube to propel the kayak. So there's many opportunities for hands-on experience, research experiences, but also in the community working with people to improve their lives. I also brought with me today 4 students, so 2 public health majors and 2 kinesiology majors, who will be here to answer your questions about all the different ways that you can get involved as an undergraduate student in kinesiology or public health. So thanks again for your attention, and we'll be here for any questions that you have.
Thank you very much, Chris. Next, we're going to be hearing from Dr. Lola Berber Jimenez, and she is the chair of our Liberal Studies Department.
Thank you, Dean, and happy to see you all here. Thank you for coming. And I'm here with Neil Slavic. If you want to show your video, Neil, so that we can say hi. We're both going to talk to you about liberal studies, and you're going to ask, first of all, what is liberal studies doing in the College of Science and Math? I would say that's a great question. As you know, in California, liberal studies is for elementary school teachers, and we need to know all the subjects. So there's 7 domains that we basically work with, and half of them are in the College of Science and Math, and the other half are in the College of Liberal Arts. So our students have a good background in all the areas that are needed to be successful in elementary and beyond. We have everything that they said. This is a fantastic place. My son came here to biology and he had an amazing time. And it's a small, very caring community. I would say smallish, not really small. But we have dedicated faculty that exemplify the discipline. So when my students go to math, they basically learn about how math is thought about from experts, the people that have dedicated, that have gone into PhDs. And that's super significant to bring into the classroom. That love for math, that love for the field is seen in any of our classes, because we have really small class sizes, as we have mentioned. So we have many subjects, and our field experiences going into the classroom as an adult is eye-opening to some of our students. They basically see what it is and what they need to do and all the decisions that they need to do in a day. 300 if you're thinking in kindergarten, and those are critical decisions that any teacher has to do. So as they're learning their subject matters, and you have those listed, some of them, they are basically learning also strategies, maybe pedagogical ways, maybe assessment from our instructors that are really good at presenting their subject matter. We have concentrations, and our concentrations are door openers. So essentially, we are thinking like they are most likely going to continue to the School of Education, get a credential, and an authorization, like in math, for example, since we work on that, is going to open doors. They may be able to be leading math strategies and instructional material decisions that are critical for teaching in elementary, or maybe even move to middle school and beyond. So that's basically how we thought of our concentrations. What are the needs of California? Where are the jobs in California? How do we get them? How do we prepare them better so that they're more effective? Everything is student-centered, all our classes. We have some project-based learning. We have some studio learning in which the students discover the solutions to a question posed by the instructor. So that's a really great opportunity. Some of our students do study abroad. We want them to live in our community. We want them to participate. You're looking at the picture of our freshman incoming class from this year outside, all wearing masks as they should. But they, besides interacting in their small classes and with each other, they do belong to the community. They work with the community and abroad. We're super dedicated and committed to diversity, equity, and inclusivity. We have a very happy student body and engaged and very collaborative. And we have many faculty that have been teachers, so we know what it takes to go and be here and then move forward. Neil, you're going to take the next slide. I want to say that Neil exemplifies the ambitious learner that we have in our student body. And I was super happy to see him in the Mustang Bio last weekend. So that was super great. Neil.
Yeah, thanks, Dr. Berber. Hi, everyone. I'm Neil. I'm a third-year liberal studies major. My pronouns are he, him, his. So for subject matter and pedagogical content, a lot of like what happens in liberal studies is a lot of the content we learn is not only just learning new content, like college level content, we're also on top of that learning strategies to how to teach that content to kids, or learning different ways that we can convey knowledge. Or it's not just about like learning for ourselves, but about how to teach others too. So you'll see a couple of things on there, like math and science. We have a series of 4 math and science classes where we're not only like learning how to solve new kinds of problems, but on top of that, we're learning like different strategies, different uses of technology we can use with kids, different ways to solve problems, different way to think about problems, anything that'll help others, basically help us teach others. Our major does focus on STEM a lot. We actually get a bachelor's of science in liberal studies, which I know is pretty rare for the state of California. Usually you get a bachelor of arts, but we focus a lot on STEM classes. So we do get a bachelor's of science. But of course, that's not the only thing we focus on. We have visual and performing arts classes where we learn how to teach dance, theater, and music, as well as art, sculpture, painting. We have children's lit and storytelling, where we learn how to physically storytell to children and how to read books and what books to choose. And we learn how to incorporate a diverse environment into our books. So we're using different diverse authors or diverse stories in our education. The physical education classes, we have 2 classes where we learn how to teach physical education and health. And we learn about like how to take care of our students. But of course, all in the liberal studies, it's not only about becoming future teachers. There's many career paths that you can go into, including not just elementary education, but like Dr. Burr was saying, you can go into middle school or high school education. You can go into counseling. You can go to administration. You can go into college professing. There's a lot of different pathways. And liberal studies sets you up so well for any pathway you want. The faculty here is part of the reason I came to this university, is because the faculty is so supportive in anything you want to do. They'll work with you. They'll get you on the right track. Whether you want to be a teacher or a counselor, or if you want to do something completely different, each and every one of the liberal studies faculty members is there to support you.
Great. Thank you very much, Neil and Lola. Appreciate hearing from you. Next, we have the mathematics department, and Dr. Ben Rickert is the department chair.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Ben Rickert, chair of the math department. And if you come and study science in the College of Science and Math, you'll get to know the math department pretty well, because math is the language that makes science possible. You might find as you study mathematics that you just need more That's what happened to me, because at its base, we like to think about mathematics, the centralness of it to science is it's a good way to learn how to become a thinker, how to solve problems. Now, we have several different ways to do that via our concentrations, and you can see them listed here, the applied math concentration, the pure math concentration, the math teaching concentration. And these are advising tracks that we use to help students navigate the curriculum to get roughly where they want to go. But centrally, what we offer in the math department is a Bachelor of Science in Mathematics, and we focus on logic, problem solving, mathematical techniques, and there are also many opportunities for research, as you've already heard. We have a master's degree in the mathematics department, and so many of our students go on and do the blended 4+1 program, whereby they earn their bachelor's and their master's in 5 years. But apart from those housekeeping details, I should get to the question of what you can do with math, because that's what people always ask. Math graduates, especially Cal Poly math graduates, end up working everywhere across industry. Some of us teach. We have people who teach in high school, or people who teach in middle school, people who teach in community college, and people who go on to get their PhDs and teach in colleges. But the predominant thing that our graduates do is go out and work in industry, because math is a great way to teach yourself to be a learner and problem solver. So we have people working at Amazon and Apple and Cisco, and I won't read the rest of them, but you'll see there computer science firms, engineering firms, banking firms, data science firms, and also all sorts of other work. So it turns out that the main raspberry farmer around Ojai is a Cal Poly math department graduate. And it's fascinating to talk to him and find out how he uses mathematics, not so much algebra and calculus, but rather the suppleness of mind and the mathematical way of thinking as he farms and as he solves problems in his industry. So we hope that you'll come and join us.
Thank you, Ben. That is that's the furthest application of math I've heard yet, but I see the connection. You articulated it well. So we have two more departments left. We have physics and then statistics, and then we're going to hear from our Associate Dean, Dr. Camille O'Brien. And so now's a good time, if you have questions, to start putting those into the question and answer box. But next, we're going to be hearing from the chair of our physics department, Dr. Carl Saunders.
Thank you, Dean. What a wonderful evening to all get together. I always feel very inspired by all the other departments and the wonderful things that they're doing. As we've kind of seen repeated throughout the evening, undergraduates are our focus. We have small classes, 50 or less, taught by faculty with PhDs. The small class sizes, the engaged faculty make for a wonderful atmosphere of engagement, inquisitiveness, questions, discussion among students, tangents. It's a wonderful place to be. We have an astronomy minor. So many students of ours are interested in astronomy, want to pursue it either towards their physics credit or as part of an astronomy minor. We have an observatory on campus. We have about a half a dozen astronomy professors, all highly engaged in research, teaching about a half dozen upper division astronomy courses, and even more specially, engaging students in astronomy research, either locally or further afield at telescopes around California and even further afield in Hawaii and Chile. We have specialized laboratories. These are highly technical, small class-sized laboratories on the order of 12 students or so in electronics, optics, quantum physics, solid state physics, astronomy, as I said before. As we've heard across the board tonight, our community is just, I think, really close-knit. The faculty are very, very engaged with our students, both within the classroom, but also without, in terms of their research mentorship, their academic advising mentorship, just reaching out to help students when they need it, to help guide students towards whatever their dreams may be. We have wonderful student clubs. We have a Minorities in Physics Club. We have a Women in Physics Club. We have a Society of Physics Club. We also have an astronomy club, and some of those astronomy club members will also staff our observatory and telescope on campus and allow community members to come in and view the beauty of Saturn's rings and Jupiter's moons. as mentioned by many other of our programs here, we have really cutting edge research. We have small student faculty ratio, and that means that we have many research for our student opportunities for our students. We have about, I don't know, 40 faculty members doing highly cutting edge engaged research. We have about 200 majors. So really all of our students that want to do research will have the opportunity to do so. If we can move to the next slide, thank you. So within physics, we really think of these research experiences, which typically last, throughout a quarter or throughout a summer. We think of those as our internships. It's an opportunity for students to really work on open-ended problems. There's not necessarily a known solution waiting for them. They're chipping away, they're making jumps, they're making leaps, but mainly they're working on highly technical, whether that be technical in terms of equipment, technical in terms of computational power, technical in terms of math. They're really working hard on these projects, working along really masters, I think, of their own sort of, direction and goals within these projects. And it really sets them up well for whatever they move on into, whether that be industry, whether that be graduate school, whether that be high school teaching. But it really is one of our sort of, I think, our most special things that happens within our department. We have research going on within astronomy and astrophysics. You can see in the upper right-hand corner. We have research going on within optics and increasingly quantum computing and how that relates to optics, theoretical physics. We have materials physics. We can see in the upper left-hand corner a group of Dr. Marlowe's students who were presenting at a conference on their work on carbon nanotubes. In the lower right, we have Dr. Beekman's student who's working on the Seebeck effect. We have biophysics, we have sustainable physics, we have particle accelerators, and in the lower left, you can see Dr. Masteridis and his students at the Large Hadron Collider in Geneva. These research experiences, they can count for credit, they can count for money if you're getting paid through a grant. But as I said, we really do think of them as sort of internships within our department, and they really prepare our students with specialized skills to move on and follow their dreams. So I will be around to answer questions through the chat at the end. And if anyone has questions that they want to follow up with me on, I'm always happy to set up a meeting over Zoom. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Carl. Now I'd like to introduce the final department you'll be hearing from, and that's our statistics department, and Dr. Andrew Schaffner, who is the chair of that department.
Hi, welcome everyone. Thanks for the introduction, Dean. First, I appreciate where you're all sitting right now. My son is actually in the process of thinking about which schools he's interested in. Cal Poly is indeed one of them, but like all kids, they sometimes want to branch away and go a little further out. But it is a very exciting time to be thinking about what schools and programs you're interested in. A little bit about me, like Dean and Chris, I am a product of Cal Poly as well. I was a student here in the math department and also statistics department. And this is a place that became home because of the faculty who are here who really helped me discover who I am and find the strengths in the areas of mathematics and statistics. It really gave me the opportunity to see the wonders of statistics and the ability to help and solve applied problems in everybody's backyard. And I'll tell you a little bit more about that as I describe the department. We are one of the first statistics departments in the country to offer an undergraduate degree. Now, that was some time ago, but we've been building on this a long time. So I'd like to think that we're doing a pretty good job. And we have some rather famous faculty who are actually creators of curriculum that's used across the nation in statistics courses at universities and high schools everywhere. We have about 190 majors in our program. So we're a modestly small program, but we have a lot of faculty as well, or I should say, and we have a lot of faculty as well. We have 30 faculty. That's because most students at Cal Poly have to take one or more statistics courses. So as a service department, we actually have a great student to faculty ratio for our majors. They get a lot of contact with faculty and a lot of ability to participate in research and teaching opportunities and just getting that connection and support. We also have several spaces that we devote to our students. Building a community is exceptionally important for us. Our students have spaces right here amidst our faculty offices. We have a little statistics lab right next door and several conference room facilities. Our studio classroom, which is a lab-based classroom, has another research space right next door to that. So lots of places for students to study and work together. We have, in addition to our minor or our major, several minors that our students commonly pursue. And the first one, the label is a minor, but I don't really like to call it a minor. That's a technical term because in fact, it's a very large list of classes. And to complete the minor, it's actually closer to 190 unit or 192 units of material. It basically encompasses the core of the statistics degree, plus the core of the computer science major and extra courses that are especially focused in data science. So it's really a partnership, and it's technically called a cross-disciplinary studies program. The program is a partnership with computer science. Our students come from statistics, computer science, and mathematics. Math majors also are able to take advantage of the program. It dovetails nicely with their program. So if you're interested in data science and how computing and statistics intersect, we have a program for you. It's called a minor, but it's really a major plus because it really does encompass all of our statistics major and some computer science. In addition, several of our students pursue an actuarial preparation track. Actually, that's something my son is interested in. Actuary assesses risk, works for credit and risk scoring management, and economist type of work, insurance type work. That's a program that's jointly offered between us, math, and business. If they're interested in biological applications, we also have a bioinformatics program that's a cross-disciplinary program similar to our data science program. Students get to be engaged in actually doing statistics and performing the role that statisticians love to do, which is help others in their research. We have students who help our own faculty within the statistics department. They participate in our Frost undergraduate research. And I think Dean talked a little bit about Bill and Linda Frost and their generous contributions that keep our Frost research program alive. We also have a consulting service that we offer to the broader campus. In the picture, you'll see some of our students working with the Cal Poly volleyball team. We actually have students who work for the volleyball team, the basketball team, as well as baseball teams doing sports statistics. And many of them have gone on to make careers of that. We have students who are now with the 49ers, the Seattle Mariners, the Minnesota Twins, the Cleveland Indians. So that's a kind of a new growing niche in our program. Our students are really excited about applications of statistics in sports. Next slide, please. So all of our students who get a degree in statistics get a broad range from foundational work in mathematics and calculus, linear algebra, methods of proof, introduction to statistics through our Stat 1 and Stat 2 courses, then more advanced work in building models with regression and designing experiments. We can't do our job if we can't explain what we do to other people. So communication is a big part of our program. We have a communication course in the middle of our program as a second-year student. And again, with our capstone consulting that comes at the end of our program. Also in there, you'll see that we offer many different flavors of computing that are popular in both core of statistics and data science, Python being one of those languages. Our program isn't complete if we don't have a serious mathematical foundation. So the probability theory and mathematical statistics is also part of our program, which is something that you often don't see in undergraduate programs. It's a little bit more common in master's programs, but we have a version tailored just for our undergraduate degree. In addition to all the core curriculum, students have a variety of electives that you can see from the list on your screen. Our graduates, about a quarter of them go on to graduate school, a lot of wonderful places, University of Washington, that's actually where I went, Oregon State, North Carolina State. You can read the rest there. As far as careers, I think a lot of our career potential dovetails with what we heard Dr. Rickert say from the math department, Google, Workday, PricewaterhouseCooper. We have folks going into the sports area, as well as Stanford, but not, several people have gone to Stanford, not as an academic, but working for their medical group there and helping with the medical research that campus does. Disney, working in the back end of modeling and advertising and developing programs for them. And then other types of risk management like TransUnion and Ernst & Young. So we're really excited. If you consider Cal Poly Statistics, feel free to contact me. My contact information is on our website, statistics.calpoly.edu. Thanks.
Thank you, Andrew. Now I want to introduce, and then we'll go to questions. So if you have any questions, feel free to enter those into the question and answer box. But we're going to hear from Dr. Camille O'Brien, who is an associate dean, and she's going to share opportunities that students have to build community in the college.
Thank you,
Camille.
Dean. Yes, thank you, Dean. Hello, everyone. My name is Camille O'Brien. I use she, her pronouns. And my home department is Kinesiology and Public Health. And my role as Associate Dean for the college is to work across all the departments and with our partners in academic affairs across all 6 colleges, as well as student affairs and university advising to help make sure our students find many ways to connect with each other. And so on this slide, you just see a few examples. First, I want to talk briefly about CoSAM Connections. And CoSAM Connections is a peer mentoring program that we started a few years ago in our college. And we work with a company called Mentor Collective to match up new students with continuing students based on similar interests, academic, professional. And it's a great way for students to get to know each other, know the campus, but also sometimes students don't want to come to faculty and ask them questions, which is fine. So when they talk with each other as peers, and they can sometimes find a way to a faculty member or a staff member's office where they can help them with some more complicated or complex questions that they're experiencing, challenges that they're facing. Clubs and organizations as well. Many of the department chairs have already alluded to the different types of clubs in their departments. There are more than 400 student clubs and organizations at Cal Poly. And within our college, there's at last count 27, maybe more. It's constantly changing because the clubs and organizations exist based on student interests and students' opportunities for building community based on academic interests, cultural experiences, professional interests, and things that all overlap with each other. And within the residential system, Cal Poly is primarily a residential campus. So we have a large percentage of our students who live on campus. All first-time new students out of high school are required to live on campus, at least for their first year in our college. And then many continue to live on campus. So if you are living in the residence halls, you have the opportunity to choose different types of residential learning communities. Some of those are college-based ones. Some of those are based on, cultural or identity or affinity. Some of them are based on students who are interested in leadership opportunities, and that's done in partnership with the Center for Service and Leadership. And there's others that are more about lifestyle. So, for example, we have a substance-free learning residential living community. So I just share these with you all as a way to see that there's opportunities for students to find the niche or niches that best meet their needs and interests as they evolve and grow through their academic journeys. And so that's all I want to say about that. I will turn it back over to Dean.
Thank you very much, Camille. Before we turn to resources that admissions is going to talk to us about, I'd like to take the opportunity to hear from a few of our students. I know you've been hearing a lot from the faculty, but we have several students here, and I really appreciate that they're giving their time to talk with you. And so I'd like to invite students to unmute and to share their video and answer the question, essentially. Describe what learn by doing means in your department and what you've done that is so indicative of Cal Poly's learn by doing approach. And I will I'm just going to call on folks. Okay, well, I've got one. Audrey Sarin, please.
Hi there. Thanks for your patience while my camera adjusts. So learn by doing is a huge part of why I chose Cal Poly. I'm a marine sciences major, which is housed in the biological sciences department. And I have had a huge number of opportunities for me to be in the field, to be getting hands-on research experience that, quite frankly, I don't think I would have been able to have at other institutions. I have been involved in undergraduate research both for credit through the Frost undergraduate summer research program, and now as my job, I get paid to do it, which is really fun. My research is something that is really important to me, and I will be presenting it at a conference and one day, hopefully in the next year or so, publishing it in a peer-reviewed journal. Furthermore, I am a scientific diver. I'm wearing the Cal Poly Scientific Diver sweatshirt right now. So that's a really cool program out of the Cal Poly Pier where students can get in the water and get certified with AAUS to be taking scientific data for their research, for other people's research projects. So every interaction with every faculty member I've had has been really focused on how I can get more involved, how I can be more ready for my career, and I'm just really appreciative of that.
Thank you, Audrey. Shannon, did you want to go?
I can. Hi, I'm Shannon. Like the dean said, I'm studying kinesiology. I'm a transfer student. This is actually my first quarter here at Cal Poly. I'm from the San Francisco area. I'm trying to think. There's been so many opportunities, especially as a transfer student, which is really, really great because initially I was extremely nervous. I know I'm using very exciting words. I guess my best example that I can learn by doing is I'm taking exercise physiology with Dr. Griever, and some of my favorite labs that I've done is involving VO2 max, which is basically your max oxygen level while performing a certain exercise, which I think is extremely exciting because as an athlete, I always wanted to know am I hitting my VO2 max? Am I hitting my top capacity? Obviously right now I'm not the same condition as I was in high school. So it is going to be a little different, but the opportunities that Cal Poly has given me, even being in the first quarter, has been amazing, especially after everything we've been experiencing with COVID. Unfortunately, one of my last years at community college was online like everyone else. So coming back in full swing from a semester to a quarter, which has been extremely difficult because it's so fast paced. The professors, everyone's been amazing, especially the live by doing, like Audrey was saying too. When it comes to certain research opportunities, I'm looking to apply actually right now to do a Frost undergraduate research project, which hopefully I can get into if anyone's listening.
Great. Thank you very much. In your first quarter, you're already measuring VO2 max. That's wonderful. And I wouldn't want to measure my VO2 max anymore. I can tell you I reach it every time I go out and get exercise.
Hey, if you want to come on by, we all have smiles.
Great. Well, thank you. Neil, do you want to talk about the liberal studies?
Yeah, I'd love to. Thank you, Dean. In the liberal studies department, we actually have a class that we get to take. We get to take it twice, where we get to actually go to the physical elementary schools in our local district and volunteer there. So my first time I took it was actually my freshman year. It was the second quarter I was ever at Cal Poly, and almost immediately I was put in the classroom and got that hands-on experience with children. I was working with kindergartners in a bilingual Spanish-English school, which is super cool because a lot of times, a lot of liberal studies programs or elementary education programs, you don't get experience in the classroom until you're in a graduate credential program. So until you finish your undergraduate degree, you go into graduate school, that's usually when you start going to classrooms and really getting that hands-on experience. So Cal Poly does a great job with learn by doing by sticking you in the classroom within your first couple of years at Cal Poly and really giving the experience to see is this what I want to do? Do I enjoy this? What is this really like? You get to talk to you work with teachers one-on-one who are in the classroom right now, and you get to talk to them about what's it really like to be a teacher? What's it like behind the scenes? Is it a lot of work? Do you get a lot of time off? And so you really get to see really everything you get to see hands-on. On top of that, on campus, we also have a preschool that I know a lot of people in the liberal studies major volunteer at or work at, where they get to go during the middle of the day between classes and work with preschool children and see if they enjoy doing that. There's also daycares around campus, other elementary schools. So many opportunities that the liberal studies department gives their students to make sure that they have the experience that they want to see if they're doing what they love.
Great, thank you. I see a question that came through about how does marine science differ from marine bio at other schools? And I would say that, marine biology is focused on the biology of the ocean, whereas marine science has a track that has marine biology, but there's also a track that is involved in the physics of the ocean or the chemistry of the ocean. And so it's more interdisciplinary and broad, but there definitely is that biological sciences track as well. How about, we only have about 4 minutes here, so I want to check in with the admissions folks, because I know that you all, I want to be respectful of everyone's time. And I know that you all have a few things that you'd like to talk to the group about. Does that seem like the right timing, Brooke?
Yes, that's great. Thank you so much. And I will do is I'll go back to sharing my screen here. And I will just wrap things up. First, thank you all so much for sharing your experiences here at Cal Poly. And thank you all for asking questions. Just to wrap things up, we have a few minutes left. Just the next steps for us are going to be, if you are on campus, we do offer multiple tours. We have some that are student-led as well. So if you want to have those student-led tours, you can sign up at calpoly.edu/visit. You can also follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. We also have a YouTube channel as well. If you want to connect with us for the admission team, you can email us anytime at admissions@calpoly.edu. We also have a phone line that our admission officers open from 12 to 5, Monday through Friday. And if you have any questions in regards to your application, anything at all that you need help with, please give us a call and we will be happy to help and assist you with any questions that you might have. And finally, last but not least, we would love to hear your feedback for how this session went, how we can share more or what you liked and what you didn't like. So if you want to pull out your smartphone, you can scan the QR to the left, and we will be entering everyone who fills out this survey into a lottery, and we will send the winners a swag gift from Cal Poly. So I'm just going to leave this here for a minute so that everyone can get their smartphones out to send us your feedback. And overall, thank you all so much again for joining us this evening. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. And otherwise, have a wonderful evening. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you all. We really hope to see you here at Cal Poly. And don't hesitate to reach out to anyone here that has been presenting. And thank you very much, Brooke.
Perfect. Have a wonderful evening.
Hey there, my name's Rafael. I'm a 4th-year journalism transfer student with a minor in Spanish, and my pronouns are he, him, his. Thank you for watching the video. Please share any questions or comments you have down below in the comments section. Click here to subscribe, and to watch more videos, click here. If you want to sign up for a campus visit, we're offering in-person and virtual options, so check out our website. Link in the description. Thank you for watching.